I'm Dr. Roselle with Wise Use Podcast. We're here today to talk about another strategy to save you money. In this one, it's not as obvious because the money goes out $10 at a time, $20 at a time, and before you know it, it goes from an occasional thing to a habit. I'm talking about a convenience tax. What is a convenience tax? Well, it's paying somebody else to prepare food for you or deliver your food or make your coffee, and it adds up over time. We're just going to talk about a couple of categories today where if you gave up a little bit of convenience, you could actually save almost $23,000 a year. And there are two big ones in there, but we're going to start with one that kind of got me to think about convenience taxes and how I could save money, and that was actually just making coffee. I have coffee every single day, so does my wife, and we quickly realized that instead of occasionally going to Starbucks, we were in line every single day, and we were spending $20 a day. Because of that, we were spending thousands of dollars a year on coffee, and we quickly realized that if we just made our coffee at home, then we'd save a lot of money. And even if we bought an expensive cappuccino machine, it would pay for itself in a couple of months, and we'd go from spending $5,000 a year on coffee to 300 or 400, which to us sounded like a great deal. So your first tip for saving money and not paying the convenience tax is make your own coffee. But that's not one of the two big ones. One of the biggest ones is just the meal tax. Instead of going out to eat once, twice, three times a day, and you might say to yourself, well, who goes out three times a day? And I have to admit, I don't do it all the time, but there are some days when I'm really busy and I'll go out three times a day. Even when I travel now, I try to not go out three times a day. I try to go to a local grocery store and pick some food up so I don't have to spend that amount of money on food when I go out. But let's go over the numbers. If you're averaging $20 a meal, which nowadays is not that much in the United States, when you think of the meal and the tip, it's usually about $20. If you just go out for one meal a day, average one meal a day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you're going to be spending $5,200 a year on the convenience of having somebody prepare your food for you. If it's two meals, it's $10,400, and if it's three meals, it's $15,600. Now, not too many people I know do this, three times a day, 7 days a week, but just think about the average. Do you, on average, go out once a day over the course of the work week? And if the answer is yes, if you started making your food at home, you're going to save not $5,200, but you're going to save that cost. Most people, when they prepare their food at home, you can meal plan and make food in bulk. You're going to be spending about 20% of the cost. So your food costs will go for that one meal from $5,000 a year to probably under $1,000. So you'll save $4,000. Another additional convenience tax, which isn't huge, but it is something, is carry out versus delivery. Once you think about the delivery fee, the service fee, the processing fee, and the tip, you're probably spending an additional $10 to $20 per meal. And if you do this on average, I don't know, once a week, you're going to save yourself $1,000 just by picking it up yourself. And really, there's no additional cost unless you're going way out of your way to pick something else. The other big savings for something you do every day during the work week is the commute. Now, I did the math for myself and I was shocked. I only commute 30 miles each way, but over the course of the year, it's 15,000 miles, or 15,000 miles, which adds up to about $11,000. So for me, I've looked at strategies of trying to work at home part-time or even ride sharing. If I can cut my commute just by half, by working at home half time, which I know isn't an option to everyone, or doing public transportation, or doing rideshare, this is another huge savings. I could save $5,400 a year. Something else where it's kind of hard to quantify, but my wife really helps me with this a lot, is the 24-hour rule. And you might say, well, what's that? I am an impulse buyer. I see something I like, I go out and buy it. It's horrible. Half the time or probably 90% of the time, when I just wait 24 hours and really reflect on it, I don't purchase it. Now, when I looked up the statistic, it says, well, on average, you can save about $600 a year doing this. But if you think about the major purchases where you went out and bought a drone or a new camera or a new phone, it could save you thousands of dollars a year. So let's take a look at all the different strategies together and think about what this means to you, because the savings are substantial. So if you're brewing coffee at home, you're going to spend $300 versus $1,300. If you're preparing your meals at home, now this is for the 3 meals a day, you're going to go from $15,000 a year, over $15,000, to about $1,500, which is a substantial savings. If you do pickup instead of delivery, you save about $1,000 a year. And if you cut your commute in half through rideshare, public transportation, and or working remote, you're going to save at least $5,500. So that's a total savings of about $22,000, $23,000 a year, which is absolutely, absolutely amazing. Now think about that. Most people spend years trying to earn a raise. But before you ask your boss for money, ask yourself, am I spending the raise I already have? And if you're using these convenience taxes because you're too busy, then the answer is yes. So this week's challenge is simple. For the next 30 days, make your coffee at home, prepare all your meals, pick up your takeout, share a ride whenever you can, or use public transportation. Then calculate what you save. You might discover that the easiest raise you'll receive isn't from a promotion, it's from making intentional choices every single day. Because remember, sustainability should save you money, not cost you money. I'm Dr. Joe Roselle, and thank you for listening to the Wise Use Podcast. Until next time, spending wisely, live intentionally, and keep more of the money you've earned is always the most sustainable way to live. Thank you.